Well, after a recent release of a top five list, I'm not sold on what this committee is saying because they really got on my nerves this time. Let's rock and I'll explain. All right, what's going on, guys? My name is Antonio, and welcome back to the All Around Sports Podcast. Today, I am talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, recently, the NFL put out a list of the top five quarterback, veteran quarterback wide receiver duos. So, according to NFL.com, it stated that Russell Wilson and Justin Fields to George Pickens was at number five. Aaron Rodgers to Mike Williams was at number four. Mahomes to Marquise Hollywood Brown was at number three. Cousins to London is at number two. And Stroud to Diggs was at number one. So, with this recent list, I found a lot of problems with this. But before we get started, I am trying to aim for about 400 subscribers before the beginning of next NFL season. So if you guys do enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. But for now, let's get the discussion underway. So, when I first saw this, I pretty much had a one-word reaction to this, and I was just disgusted about when I saw this. So my reaction to this was, what the? I'm sorry. I just can't with the committee anymore. First they put the Niners at number one ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs, and now this. I mean, I'm not buying it. This is not funny. That man, the NFL committee just put Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and George Pickens over Tua Tagovailoa, to maybe OBJ or Tyreek Hill, which that is absurd, and also along with Josh Allen to potentially maybe someone else on there like Mikey Hollywood Brown. But this is ridiculous. This is flat out crossing the line because let me go over some stats here that I looked up on George Pickens and Russell Wilson. Let me go over some stats here. Total amount of receptions made by George Pickens last year 63 receptions for 1,100 yards, 140 yards. Also, average amount of yards per game 18.1. He had 5 receiving touchdowns. He had 18 rushing yards, 3 attempts, and also along with receptions, he had 63 receptions and he had 106 targets. Now they get to Russell Wilson. Now we head over to Russell Wilson. So, in total, he had a total of 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 3,070 yards, and also along with countless other stats. You are telling me that Russell Wilson, who has not proven himself outside of the city of Seattle, you're telling me that Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, two of the most mediocre quarterbacks that the Steelers have had to work with, are a top five wide receiver quarterback duo? I mean, this is the most ridiculous thing that I have ever heard. I mean, if I'm an NFL fan right now, if I'm a football fan right now, I have just hit a state of eternal rage. How in the ever loving heck can they do something like that? I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to be cool. But when you have had an offense that is ranked 26th in the league for the last 2 years, you cannot tell me that this is a top five wide receiver duo. You cannot tell me that. Now, I know it's just veterans, but Russell Wilson has not had a winning season outside of the city of Seattle. He has had 2 straight losing seasons. He has not made a playoff appearance. And on top of it all, you bring in Justin Fields, who I do see potential in. I do see it. But he has not performed because he hasn't had the weapons around him. I get that there's many weapons in Pittsburgh right now. I get all that. But when you put them up in the top five of the top quarterback wide receiver duo in the veterans, that is absurd. Because one, Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill should at least be on this list. That's number one. Number two, these guys haven't even played a single snap yet. They have not even played a single game. And we're already saying that they are a top five quarterback wide receiver duo veteran. I mean, can we all just calm the F down? I mean, for real. First of all, I did a rant a few months ago on the Niners because they had them ranked number one in the country, but ahead of Kansas City. But now they've just gone too far with this. This is too far. This is really crossing the line. And I am so hot about this right now. I am so heated about this right now. I I'm not being biased. I am going over the stats. And due to Russell Wilson's record, which is 11 and 19 in the last 2 years, and George Pickens had 5 touchdown catches. 5. Cortland Sutton had more than that last year. Also, on top of it all, Russell Wilson left the two best receivers in Seattle behind, Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. And you're going to a Pittsburgh squad that has Quez Watkins, I believe is his name. He was the number 3 overall receiver in Philly. You got Cordell Patterson, who is a wide receiver, which may be a good option, might not be. You also bring in a few other pieces on that offense, like Troy Fautanu and Zach Frazier to help the offensive line, and Roman Wilson coming from Michigan, a part of the national championship squad. But this is ridiculous. This is utterly ridiculous. I am I am utterly speechless right now because of what the committee did. I wouldn't have even had the Steelers quarterback wide receiver duo in here in the first place. If I were to remake it, I would put Tua and Tyreek Hill in there this year because at least they have a playoff appearance for crying out loud. At least they've had more playoff appearances than Russell Wilson and the Steelers have made combined in the last 2 years. And sure, they have been ousted in the first round. Sure. But the Steelers were ousted of the first round to the Bills last year. And we are really going to go out there and say that Russell Wilson and Justin Fields to George Pickens, who had 5 touchdown catches last season, is a top five wide receiver quarterback duo?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And also, Arthur Smith is not an upgrade over Matt Canada because he is 21 and 30 with the 17th ranked offense. In now remember, this was the Atlanta Falcons, and their defense was increasingly better this year. But he had, let me go over something here. He had 4 quarterbacks that Arthur Smith worked with as a part of the team known as the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let me pull that up here real quick. So so Arthur Smith worked with Matt Ryan, Marcus Mariota, Desmond Ritter, and Taylor Heineke. The 4 recent quarterbacks that worked with Pittsburgh were Ben Roethlisberger, also known as Big Ben, Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, and Mitch Trubisky that can't throw a dang accurate pass for crying out loud. Matt Canada was able to do more with mediocre play, with mediocre quarterback play. And Arthur Smith, he's terrible with mediocre quarterbacks. And he's 21 and 30. As with those 4 quarterbacks I mentioned with Matt Ryan, Desmond Ritter, Marcus Mariota, and Taylor Heineke. He is 21 and 30 with mediocre quarterback play. And Marcus Mariota has, I mean, I'm not Marcus Mariota. Matt Canada has 19 more wins than Arthur Smith does as a head coach. 19 more wins with mediocre quarterback play. What makes us think that the Steelers are going to come out here? Now, of course, their defense has everything. Of course, their defense is amazing. And they have been the sole solid glue to this team from the start. But if you're going to win a Super Bowl, you need to have an offense for crying out loud. And last I checked, your offense was ranked 26th in the league last year. Arthur Smith's quarterback ranking was their offense ranking was 17th and had a 7-10 losing season. Do you have the 17th ranked overall offense and go 7-10? Do you have the 17th ranked offense and go 7-10? Name me one team. Name me one team out of all the teams in the NFL that has had that happen to them. Name me one team, and I'll take it all back. Name me one team. Uh huh. I didn't think so. My point to everyone is this: we are giving the Steelers too much attention because all of a sudden, when Russell Wilson comes over, it's like he's just all of a sudden the savior of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Huh? Huh? Huh?
We probably pretty much all know that he is not. But my point is, the Steelers haven't proven themselves. We haven't even seen a single snap played with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields on there. And we're already saying that they're a top five quarterback wide receiver duo. George Pickens had 5 touchdown catches last year on 106 targets. 106. And when you're going into a division, which is the AFC North, which is the toughest division in the NFL,
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
you are gonna have those issues. And we just haven't seen it yet. We have to see it to believe it in order to deem this team worthy of being a playoff team. And I just do not see it yet. I don't see it. And maybe in the near future we'll see. But I don't see it as of yet. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you guys think the committee got it right? And don't be delusional like those disgusting, nauseating Cowboy fans. But anyways, I just had to do that. I'm sorry. But if you guys do enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you all in the next one. Ciao for now.